Well, it says we're live.
And I think we're live.
Hello.
How is it that we forget every time how to do this?
Because we only do it once a month. Don't forget to mute the thing.
Oh, yeah. And we do it every, it's every other month, technically.
Yeah. That's a good point. My computer just notified me that we're doing the live show.
That's so cute. That's funny. I like that.
We've got some epic books to talk about tonight.
I know. I'm so freaking excited.
I don't know how we planned that out perfectly, but it just worked out.
Yeah.
We're doing both finales.
100%. Okay. Do we want to start? It looks like, I don't know if the two people watching are just us.
Yes. Okay. Well, people can join in later if they...
Oh, we've got 3 people watching. Awesome.
Haley, hi.
Hey, Haley.
Okay, so do we want to start? Is there any question? Did any of us not give 5 out of 5 stars for this?
No.
Yeah, definitely 5 out of 5 stars.
100%.
I'm so surprised. Like, I do not cry in books, and I'm so surprised that I bawled in this book.
Yeah.
I don't even know when the last time I bawled, not just tear, bawled in this book.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's not even at the part where everybody else bawled.
The 13?
Yeah, I didn't bawl. I didn't cry there.
Oh my God. Okay, girl, it took me so long to read this book too. I was just like, how is it taking me so long?
I think it definitely is we just didn't want it to end as a big part of it. Also, the size is it's so big.
It's 1,000 pages.
Yeah.
It's 1,000 pages. It's 20 pages shy of 1,000 pages. So it's 1,000 pages. It's massive.
Oh, I gotta flip back to my original notes.
Oh my gosh, I don't know where my notes are.
Okay. Do we want to go chronological order? Because that's how I've written in my notes.
Yes. Okay. I need to go find my notes. Okay, Hannah, why don't you tell us, you rated it 5 out of 5 stars. I need to go find my notes really quick. I was going to say, do you want to start? How about this? Tell us which one's your favorite book in the series, and I'll be right back.
Okay. I think probably Queen of Shadows is my favorite. I think it's been so long since I fully read all of them, but I think Queen of Shadows is when we get Manon introduced, and Manon is definitely one of my favorite characters, so I think Manon is probably, when she's introduced and we see, the different perspectives going back and forth, I think that one's my favorite book. Haley, what's your favorite book? Queen of Shadows is the one that's my favorite book, or my favorite, Queen of Shadows is the one that Manon is introduced in, right?
No, Air of Fire.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
Yes,
Why do I think Queen of Shadows is still my favorite book?
In Queen of Shadows, Manon and Aelin fight at that epic scene.
Yep, Queen of Shadows is still my favorite book. I was just talking about that scene with Trevor because the really, really sad, the part that I bawled at in this book was the Abraxas scene. because I knew that something was bad gonna happen there, and I thought he was gonna die, and I was just like ugly crying. Like I was like, what? Like, give me any other like person dying. Don't kill Abraxas, because like he was like my ride or die, and I was not happy about it. And so I was like, the entire time I like read those scenes where Manon was like crying out, like begging to save him.
Oh
All I
my
could think
God.
about, I was like heartbreaking. And then I was like thinking about that scene in Queen of Shadows about Abraxas playing in the field, sniffing the flowers, and I was like, "It's just a wee little bean. Like, how can you do this to me?" I was very emotional.
Oh my God. It was so bad. That scene, okay, honestly, I'm still pissed.
About Abraxas or the 13?
13. I am so distraught, and I'm like editing my reading vlog, and my eyes are so red from crying.
So I like got through all of my emotions during the Abraxas scenes, and I was like sobbing so hard. And then like once I was like, okay, he's gonna be okay. Like he's gonna be okay. And then we like get to the 13 part, and I was like, ow. But like I had already torn up so much about Abraxas that I was like, at least Abraxas is okay, and that was my comfort. So
yeah.
why we're just gonna like jump into this part because this is the most intense, I think.
Yeah.
Why do you think it was unnecessary?
Okay. I just, out of like anybody that could have died, I was like, first of all, I'm shocked that more people didn't die. Like we literally lost, well, we lost the 13, and then we lost Gabriel. And that's pretty much it. And Fenris's brother. That's pretty much it. Like no one else really died. So I was kind of shocked. I thought we would have like more characters die, and I'm really happy that they didn't. But I felt like I don't think it I don't think it would have changed the story. Like, because Manon already had so much character growth and character development that her, like, usually when a character dies, it's to like propel another character into like Nehemia. When Nehemia died, it really like propelled Selena or Aelin into her purpose. But there was no reason for them to die. None.
Okay. I will say this with like, that's something that a lot of people hate this series for, is that a person of color died to propel Elena's story, a white person. And like, so I can see where you're coming from, that it didn't like for the overall arcing story, but it was very a poetic end for like Astrid and like her as her own character.
What?
Like her as her own character, it was very poetic ending for her.
Yeah.
And
I just loved her so much.
I know, me too. But I think like a death doesn't necessarily have to propel another character as long as it propels into the story, which it definitely did, because how else would they have gotten the witch towers down?
But like all of them?
Just one. Give me one. Well, because they had to like knock down the tower and then like defeat all of those witches that were like on it.
See, I think I kind of wish maybe the Crochin witches would have done it, or even Petra. Like been like, you know, why didn't somebody else? Like, why didn't some of the Crochin witches do it? Like, say you finally reunite, like Glennis, the grandma. You know, like she's old.
Because it wasn't their fight to fight.
But it was though. It was everybody's fight.
But like the 13 are like the most feared and like the biggest warriors out of them, so they needed to do it because they were the ones who trained for it, and they like were prepared and knew how to like work together and plan that. They already had it planned out.
Yeah.
And it like made more of an impact that like on Manon.
Oh my God, she's like distraught in the last last couple chapters. She's just so out of it. So, I feel like it's kind of a sad ending for Manon, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Like it just doesn't really. That's kind of my only gripe with the ending of this book. Like I loved it, but I feel like Manon's story is still not finished. Like Aelin's story is done. She's crowned, and queen of both. She's queen. She's Fae Queen of the West, and then she's Queen of Terrasen. Dorian goes back because he's king. Kale goes back with Dorian. Irene goes back with Kale. Irene is gonna start up like a tour, her own tour in Ardalan to teach the other like young healers. But it's like Manon's story seems incomplete. Like, because she's so, like, she doesn't have time to heal. Like, she loses so much at the very end, and we don't get time to see her heal. Like, I think maybe if we had seen her lose the 13, and maybe, like, at the end of Empire of Storm, and then she, like, healed throughout Queen of Shadows. I don't know. That's my only thing. My only gripe.
But she does have, like, a direction that she's going in at the end because she's training the Wyverns. Yeah,
no, she does. She does. It's just, her story's just, it doesn't end happy for her necessarily. So
it can't all end happy.
I know, it can't. I know. I'm just, you know what? I'll take it because I was really afraid that Dorian was going to die. And I
really thought so too.
I really thought that Manon was going to die too, honestly. I thought like, yeah. And then I thought Eli and Lorcan were going to die on the horse before
my God.
Up. So I'm like, you know what? I'll take it.
I knew someone was going to die. So like every time that someone, like one of the main characters were put in danger, I was like, here we go. This is what's going to happen. And I was like freaking out. So like, God, that moment when Lorcan and Elliot were on the horse and like, he was like wanting to let go. And I was like, no, like I was dying.
I know.
But I was like, who can we like let go of? Like I was like, so I really thought that it was gonna be Gavriel and it was gonna be like him jumping in front of Adian, like to protect him or something.
Yeah, I thought his death was a little anticlimactic.
I agree. Like he was just shut outside the doors and then it was done. Like
yeah. Leon kept saying he could have stayed. There was no need.
I know. They had a moment because they were like, we're going to shut the door together, but it wasn't like that impactful.
No, I agree 100%. And it's really funny because as like I was editing my reading vlogs, because I started like the first 50 pages like a month ago. I even said in my vlog that I was like, I can part with Fenris or Gabriel, but then the scene where Fenris almost died after he broke the blood oath, I actually teared up a little bit and I was like, wait a second, I don't actually want him to die.
I think if we had to lose him though, like I would be okay with it because we didn't get that much of him in the books before.
100%.
I was like, I don't want Astrid to die, which means she did.
Yeah.
So I was like a little upset about that. And then who's the other one that I was like, we can't lose? So I was expecting it to be a side character.
Lysandra? I thought she was gonna die.
No, I didn't think she was gonna die, but I was worried that like when there's a moment in that book where she was like, just come back to me tomorrow. And I was like, no, she's doomed him to die.
Oh, like, Adion?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. But you know what? Honestly, he pissed me off so much in this book that I think if he had died, I think I would have preferred Adion to die than 13.
What?
Yeah. No. He made me so mad.
He irritated me in this book, but I was just imagining like him not being there and then Lysandra and what's the little girl's name?
Evangeline.
Yes, like being without him, and I was like, no. Okay, can we start from the beginning? Because I have like, because I have notes like in order because I took it as in order. So,
yes, 100%. Let's do this.
Okay, my Haley, the Lysandra, when she got injured, I was like freaking out too.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna die.
But I just tend to like animals more than people, so then that was why like the wyvern got me and not people dying.
Oh my God, Abraxas. Oh, that scene.
Okay, so my first note is that Adian is way overreacting with Lysandra. Like, he's a whiny bitch for such a long time. And the fact that it took him up to that point to like realized he was being crazy, like, let it go already.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, I wrote Aedion, least favorite point of view at this time.
It's because he was whiny, and I was like, oh, I still do not forgive him for throwing her out in the snow naked. Like,
no.
Oh, that made me like really dislike him, which is a hard thing because I really liked him before.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
I really liked the relationship between Dorian and Manon's 13. So I wrote down, I love that Manon's third Sorel gifted him a knife. That was like the clan was accepting him type of thing, like as one of them too. I really liked that part.
And he always flew with either Vesta or Astrid.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I have to remind myself these are fictional characters and they don't actually exist.
Oh, I was so confused for the longest time in there when, like, because when you're reading it for the first time, like, you don't realize that, like, the whole point is Aelin doesn't even know what's going on, what's real, what's not. But reading that drove me nuts because I was like, just tell me what's real. Like, is she actually getting beaten or is it not? Like, I need to know. And I was like, it was driving me nuts. And now after finishing it, like, I understand that it was like part of the psychological thing that they were healing her along the way. So she didn't even know. But like, that I did not like that, like reading it through the first time. It was driving me nuts.
Yeah, no, it was, yeah. And those chapters were kind of hard to stomach at a few times.
I don't have a problem with gore.
Oh, and mine is torture. It's not gore. It's torture. So I don't necessarily mind like fighting scenes. I didn't mind the war. I didn't mind like people getting beheaded, people getting stabbed, but like the torture scenes, like burning her arms and then shattering her kneecaps. Ugh.
See, the part that got to me the most with her being tortured was she was inside that box and couldn't do anything. Like, being helpless would be like terrible for me. So like, oh, but I did really, really love that they came up with like a blinking system.
Yeah.
And I was like so in the book that I was like, did they actually come up with this blinking system? Is she going crazy? Did she make this up in her head? Like, if they couldn't talk, how did they communicate that this was what this blinking system meant? Yeah. I was like really beta in the story when I was trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. But then Fenrir's like, he told us that everything was real.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. This being stuck in the box would have been terrible.
Yeah.
I love that they still use the blinking system too. Like,
yes.
There was a point, I don't remember what was going on, but there's a point where she was like freaking out that he like came up and they were like doing that blinking thing. And I was like, that's so tender. And I like loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when like if you're going through like a traumatic experience, you can't always voice it. So it was like good that they had a different way for them to like check in, like at least someone to check in with each other. And I liked that Rowan picked up on it.
Yeah, me too. Okay, can we talk about really quick, like, how is Aelin, is it Mob or Mabes or Mabs?
I think they're two different things. So there's Maeve and then MABS line, like the bloodline.
Yeah, MAB. So Mab, how is Aelin Mab's true heir?
So Maeve is her actual aunt.
Maeve?
Yeah, am I not getting that right? I thought when I was reading it, I took it as like Maeve is Aelin's actual aunt, and her mom was Maeve's sister that got killed.
Although it's not real though. She like faked. It was really like 2 fake queens, not 3. So, because remember Maeve, like, she's Valg, so she made them pretend that she was a fae, that she's the aunt, but she really isn't. No?
No, I think she was really real, but she had a Valg inside her. Just like Dorian's dad was real, but then the Valg was inside him type of thing.
Okay. Okay.
That's how I took it anyways. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay. Okay. I was just like curious, like how was like Aelin, like how was like her parents not? Like her parents weren't heirs
It's all bloodline.
from her mom?
Well, from both sides, because she got the water from her mom and she got the fire, like the Brannon side, from her dad.
Right, right. And that explained it, like how it kind of like skips generations and she was just like the chosen one on Brennan's side.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Is that what happened? I don't remember reading that part that they were chosen. Like she was like that skipped the generations, I mean.
Yeah, because like why wasn't her dad? Like why weren't, because there's so many generations between Elena and, aren't there?
I don't know. I don't know.
Brennan is Elena's dad, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe it was like the combination of those two like bloodlines coming together to make Aelin.
Interesting.
That's why she's the chosen one out of it.
Okay. And then how did Dorian get his magic? Because his mom and Taryn have no magic. And then we find out that his dad has a little bit of magic when they forge the lock.
I don't know. I don't know how he, I mean, obviously then his dad would have gotten it from his dad's side. I don't know why his power is so much stronger than his dad's was.
Yeah, because he's from Mala, isn't it? I thought it was all had to do with like Mala, like one of the gods. And he's like from, like Mala had two different bloodlines. And then Aelin is on one. And then, because it's like only the two of them could forge the lock, which is why I was so confused. Like, why is it Aelin or why is it Dorian?
Because they were part of the bloodlines.
Okay. Mala's bloodline. But they're not related.
I think they're somewhat related.
Oh, I guess they are. Okay.
That would be the most logical explanation.
Yeah.
It skips generations.
Yeah. I need to like Wikipedia it now. like family trees. Now that I've read it, I didn't want to spoil myself, but now that I've read it, I can look up a family tree of it or something. Are
we satisfied with how Karin died?
I was a little like, I kind of wish we could have seen it. I mean, he tells us what he does. He like basically skins him alive, but I kind of wish we would have seen it.
I kind of wish, like, I mean, this might have been too extreme for like Aelin to be a part of, but I would have loved it if like Rowan was getting vengeance for her and then like would have had Karen on or something. Why am I echoing?
I don't hear it.
Sorry. Okay, I'm going crazy. Is your video on?
No?
No, your other video.
Oh, you mean you're echoing on, like on YouTube?
Like I can hear myself echoing through the computer. Oh, now I can't though. No, yes I can.
Like on YouTube?
Oh, see, you're now echoing too. Computer. Now I can't though.
Huh.
Do you hear that?
No.
Okay, well. Oh, see, you're now echoing too. What is going on?
Huh.
Do you hear that?
No.
Okay, well.
Oh, I guess I do hear it. A little bit.
Okay, well, I closed out of my screen, so it's definitely not me. Okay, so I wish we would have seen Rowan in getting vengeance for Aelin, and then would have had Karen saying, like, apologize to her type of thing. Like, I wish we would have gotten to see that, but I get that like she was gone through enough type of thing and probably couldn't handle that at that point.
Yeah.
Kind of like out of it when she came out of there.
Yeah, and that's what Rowan said. Like, I wish, you know, you could have been the one to do it, but he couldn't. He says, like, I couldn't risk it.
I'm gonna skip ahead too.
Yeah.
So when Dorian sent the building down, like came crashing down, Marath, on Erwin and Maeve, like, I was like, why did you not kill them? Like, why did you leave them alive? I was so confused why he just crushed them.
I was really confused too. And
I'm like, it could have been done and over with. What are you doing?
Yeah, me too. I was like, especially when he like had Maeve in his clutches.
Yes.
I was like, kill her.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. I mean, I guess Calton did warn him, like, don't try to take on them yourself because you'll die. But, like, he was already at the thick of it. Like, you might as well just go for it at that point.
Yeah, for sure. I loved that scene, though, when they were, like, conspiring against Erwin, and I was like, this is really weird, but I like it, kind of.
Oh, I was so not on board until I figured out he was tricking her.
Oh, I knew it was a trick.
Oh, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, I was like, if she's really going to pull this and try to, like, use a sympathy card on her, I am not here for it.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really good. I loved how he shifted his mind. I love Dorian's magic. I think is like the coolest magic that I've really read of like a lot of books. I think it's so cool how he can like mimic he can watch other people's magic and he can mimic, and he like learned how to shapeshift, and he learned how to basically he watched Maeve, and then he was able to do the same thing that she does against her, and he really has the coolest magic.
Yeah, I really like Dorian's magic. I was not okay, so at the end, again, I'm skipping around, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
So at the end, when we see like Aylin's power pretty much depleted,
mm-hmm.
I was like, that's real lame. Like, why couldn't she have kept her firepower? And then I felt like all guilty because she was like in the book, she was being all like silly and was like, everybody only likes me for my firepower. And I was like, great, now I'm part of that.
I actually said the exact same thing. I was like, why didn't she get to keep her magic? I kind of felt like that was a little cliche.
Yeah.
I've read a lot of books where that happens. Like the main character, the chosen one, loses all of their power. It's a little cliche.
I just thought, like, I was like, that's what made this so cool. And now it's like gone.
Yeah. Because my favorite book is Empire of Storms.
Why is that one your favorite?
Just because we really get to see like Aylin unleash her powers. And like I love Manon and Dorian. Like that's when they start to get shipped together.
Yes.
So yeah. And then I love the fight scene between Manon and her grandma.
Oh, same.
Epic. And then like Abraxas carries her basically dead onto the ship.
Can we talk about her grandmother for a minute?
Oh my god, that was so anticlimactic as well. I was like, yes, we're gonna have an epic fight scene. And she beheads the yellow leg matron, the blue blood matron, she lets her go. And I was like, yes, we're gonna finally finish it. And then grandma flees. And then
right,
she
I was
dies.
like, that is so not the MO of the matron that I was like, did not fit into her character. And
No.
I was like, what?
Yeah. Granted, I feel like if they had fought, it would have been one of them would have died, and then Astrid would have never been able to.
Yeah. So that's the only reason why I was okay with it. I still don't think it fit in with it.
Yeah.
But I just really wish it would have been, because even Manon in that moment said, this is not my fight to take. Like, and she was like ready to take, like, let Astrid take the reins. And I was like, yes, like, I was so ready for that fight between Astrid and the matron. And then she just ran away. And I was like, for how much she prided themselves on being these like bloodthirsty killers, I feel like her character would not have just ran away. And I was so confused by that. Although I did like the rationality that came from Dorian of like, they can't use this as a pity vote now and things like that, and this will be better. And but I still was like, that didn't make any sense to me.
I love the scene where, speaking of like Dorian and Manon, I love the scene. I feel like it's kind of like Manon's peak of character growth when he tells her like it's not weak to care. And then she finally like comes around and she's like, fine, I want you to stay. And like she like talks about marriage. And she's like, I want you to stay.
I love that he didn't accept it though.
Me too.
I really loved that because he knew that that was going to be miserable for her.
Yeah, because she said, I'll sacrifice my freedom for you to stay.
So I really thought Dorian was going to die. One, because he was going after the word keys. And I was like, he's totally going to use it. And two, like, I was like, how? Because she was like, let's join an alliance and make it like official alliance and get married. And he was not going to let her give up her freedom. But so something, I'm going to be on a side tangent here. They don't talk about safe sex in this book at all.
No.
And I was like, is that not a thing here? And then, especially with Astrid, like, that's a big deal, right? Is like them not having babies. So you think that they would have safe sex. So when Dorian and Manon it didn't mention anything about safe sex after that point of talk of marriage. I was like, oh my gosh, Dorian's gonna die and they're gonna like not be connected by marriage, but they're gonna have a baby together, and then Dorian's gonna die, and like I was really expecting it to take that turn.
You know what? I think it would have been interesting if Irene hadn't been pregnant and Manon got pregnant.
Yes, but I also get like why, because Aelin was so protective of Irene and being like, you're not the one with child type of thing.
Yeah.
And I forgot, I once she said, there's a moment in the book where she was like, why can't I try to fight? And she's like, well, I'm not the one with the child. And then she was like, well, we can have Horatia or something like that take a look at you. And she's like, this is not the time to discuss this. And I was like, I forgot. In the very beginning, Arobynn made Celaena basically like unable to breed, so they wouldn't make that choice.
I completely forgot about that.
And I was like, I didn't click until that moment where I was like, she physically can't have children because they like made her cut out her uterus and everything.
So Irene was going to heal her?
Yeah, they were talking about that she was like, well, maybe Horatia can like look at you and something, and she like snapped at Irene and like shut it down. But I was like, oh shit, I totally forgot that was like a premise, or like in the first book, that it was like Arobynn, once they hit 18, made her go through this procedure so they wouldn't ever have to worry about compromising her being an assassin and her having that choice of her body or someone else's.
Okay. But she never hit 18 with Arobynn.
Maybe it wasn't when you were 18, but I do remember the procedure. Like talking about it because she was like traumatized from it and she brought it up with another character.
Interesting. I completely forgot about that.
I don't remember if it's in Throne of Glass or if it's in Assassin's Blade, but it is in one of them.
Okay, interesting. I think one of the reasons, like, they do talk about how pregnancy is really hard. Like, fays have trouble getting pregnant, and then they talk about how witches have trouble getting pregnant. So they don't really talk about safe sex. But you're right, like, they don't. And you'd think, like, Elide, is it Elide or Elide? I don't know. I go back and forth. But I don't know. You're right. Like, that actually kind of bothers me.
And I was just surprised, like, that's such a big subject for the witches that you'd think that, like, Manon would have like insisted on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting. That's an interesting side note. I didn't completely thought about that.
So Haley, if you just reread the series, do you remember what book that shows up in? I'm very curious.
So I noticed that a lot of the sex scenes were toned down a lot. I wonder if it's because so many people have like trouble with was it A Court of Wings and Ruin? A lot of people were like talking about how like there were too many unnecessary scenes. So there weren't really that many compared to like Empire of Storms.
There wasn't a lot of sex scenes, although I think that had to do with like there was so much going on with war-wise.
That's true.
I know everybody mocks the scene that's in ACOWAR, but I always thought Miss and Fury had the most sex scenes.
Agreed.
I don't know.
But I also mentioned at one point that she does like sexual tension really well without any sort of physical contact. Yeah. So the scene where like Lorcan wakes up in the hospital and Eli is next to him and he's like basically naked with just a towel, and like the way they like smirk at each other and they raise their brows and just the way they talk to each other. She's
flirting well.
What?
She's flirting well.
Yes, she does flirting so well. And I think one of my favorite scenes in this entire series that I always think about is I think it's in Queen of Shadows when Rowan and Aelin go to talk to Arobynn and they have like their silent conversations between each other. And she's like, well, I'm not wearing any underwear.
Oh.
They're at like the dinner table and Rowan is like, stop with those dirty thoughts. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm not wearing any underwear.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, but she does flirting so well.
I think the one that really sticks out for me is the Dorian Manon scene where he like uses the talons and stuff, like his magical hand type of thing.
Yeah.
Talons on her. That's what like sticks out to me in like all of this.
That's a good scene. I like her love scenes. I don't have any.
Yeah, I do too. She makes you care about the characters.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I do like how she doesn't like shun sex before marriage.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about that, but that's a good point.
Yeah, so because I don't think any of them are married.
Aelin and Rowan. Because they pick up the wedding rings, remember?
No, but I think they had sex before they got married, though.
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
Maybe. But yeah, she like doesn't shun that. So like she makes it okay. So I like that.
I really liked the Aelin says, I will not yield, I will not yield. I really liked that was like her like mantra in this book.
Mm-hmm. And then once there was a kingdom burned to the ash, there was a young girl born in a kingdom. She loved her kingdom or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that too. I
will say, getting to the end of this book, and there's like a pet peeve that stuck out to me that just was like Sarah J. Maas's writing style. She repeated things 3 times.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like caught it and I was like, that's weird. And then it was like a few pages later and she did it again. And I was like, okay, that's real annoying. And it was like, and really, and really, and really. Like, that wasn't the sentence, but it was like repeated the exact same 2 words 3 times. And I was like, I get it. Like, don't do that again.
Oh, no. I will give her this, though. I didn't see one. They held their breath. Not one. So I'll give her that. Oh, okay. Can we talk about forging the lock and how she sealed the gate to the gods? I am so confused with that.
So what's confusing?
So, okay, they were trying to forge the lock to seal the gate to the Valg. But instead, she sealed the gates to the gods. But the Valg still can't come in, so I don't understand. Like, how did she seal the gates? Is there one gate? Is there two gates?
So I think it was just like the lock to our world type of thing. So no one could get into our world.
Okay.
So she was locking it. But like at the end, like when she tried to do the barter thing and they're like, we're not bartering, she's like, screw you guys, and just like screwed over the gods. She like shut them in and then locked the gate.
Oh, that's what she did.
Yeah, so she like banished the gods basically.
Oh, gotcha. Got it. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, where Trevor was reading the book to me while I was getting ready, and he was like, this is one of my favorite parts, and he was like, this is the best part, because it's like, screw you guys.
Yeah. That's a really, yeah, okay. I mean, I love that scene, but I was just confused. I'm like, what did she lock? And then Mala gave her the power to seal it, basically.
Yeah.
I
loved Manon and the 13 digging the graves with their nails. That was such an impactful scene for me.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. There are so many powerful like quotes and scenes and just such great character development. I have to give it to like Sarah J. Maas with her character development. She's really good. And even her characters that aren't necessarily well developed, like for example, like Gabriel and Fenris, you still find an attachment, like a bond to them, and you still like care.
Totally.
It's like she gives us enough with certain characters that it's like, I don't know, I like it.
She makes connections well to the readers.
Yeah.
With like very little information.
Mm-hmm. And I love how like all of her characters have personalities. And I love how they each have their own kind of unique personality, but they all go well together, and she doesn't lose the sass and the wit and the banter. Like each of them and she like sprinkles a little bit of humor in between all of like I love the scene where they're in the caverns and they're looting the treasure. Mm-hmm. And like Fenris finally comes out of his wolf form and he's like, we're gonna need more pockets. Yeah.
So what's one of the funniest moments in this one for you?
I liked that one a lot. Oh no, Aelin and Kale's dad.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Mine is definitely, I like lost it when Kale's dad tells him that Yarina's pregnant. Just like what an asshole. Like the way that he did it was just like bomb drop. And he was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah, that was really good too. I loved that.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think my favorite is like when like Aelin like walks in, like he like comes down because like they didn't tell him that Aelin was here, and he comes down and he's like, what are you guys doing in my keep? And she like looks around, she's like, wow, this is yours? This is all yours? You can have it. I really liked that. And then I liked when she gives Lorcan the blood oath, and then she's like, Lorcan can just be the uncle that we're not going to invite him to anything. I love that. It's like, Fenris, you can't kill him.
I really like that part too.
What did
you like everybody picks on Lorcan and he's like just this grumpy old guy, and he was like everybody pokes fun at him and he's like, knock it off, and like they just go to town. It like is great.
I know. What did you think about Lorcan getting the blood oath?
I was surprised because I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I was, but I wasn't. Like, it makes sense, but like the attitude doesn't fit in well. I was surprised again, but it makes sense that Ellie didn't.
Yes.
But I get that she needed the votes, like unbiased votes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm okay with it. Like I like that they're all the brothers that gotta stay together.
Yeah.
And same with Gabrielle not getting the blood oath is because she wanted to respect Adian first
Mm-hmm.
and getting the blood oath. So
yeah, definitely. I actually really loved that scene because I wasn't expecting it, and like it makes sense because she's like she can't trust him. So she's like, you can either, the only way for you to stay here is knowing that I can command you to never betray us.
And I guess I didn't really get that vibe that he was that untrustworthy.
I mean, but like think of it from her point of view.
Yeah, she doesn't see like, I mean, she can see how loyal he is to Elide, but not
to her.
Doesn't know the depth of it like we do because we got like his point of view.
Exactly. Like she just came back from 2 months of torture because of him.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would probably have done the same thing. I would have been like, either you let me command you or get the hell away.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably what I would have done too. So,
I really, really liked the Elide finding Lorcan on Hella's horse and like how poetic that was. Like just the fact like that she was like the one to jump out of all of these Fae warriors. She was the one who was gonna go out and find him. And like the fact that she kept repeating, like, I will always find you, like I promise to find you. And I was just like dying. And then the fact that like Kale was like, since day one, I've always called him Hella's horse, and they both shared that part. I really liked how she weaved all of that, and that was so well written.
Oh my God, I love that scene.
It was so good.
It was so good. I love that scene so much. Oh, he's like, I love you. It's like, oh my God.
I was cocooned in my blankets, like freaking out when she was like trying to lift him, and he was like cut from both ends, and I was like, they're not gonna make it. I can't take this.
I know. I was like, my poor heart. I'm getting heart palpitations.
Seriously, I was freaking out.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna die. I really thought they were. I thought they were. I was like, well, that's it. They're gonna die on the horse because they just professed their love.
That's it.
Oh, such a good. And then I love this. Yeah, and then I liked the scene between them when she was like, I need help getting in the bath. And he's like, bathing can be very dangerous. Like he said, bath time can be very dangerous. Yeah, there's a lot of humor in this one. A lot more than Tower of Dawn. Tower of Dawn was a lot more serious since we were because Kale's not a very humorous person.
No, but Urine was like, she was very sassy to Kale. So at least we got that part.
Yeah, and then I love how Eli is so cunning, and she comes up with all the plans. Like she comes up with the plan for to get Mauve out of the city with the Vow Collar. She comes up with the plan to destroy Erwin. Like that's her plan. Hey Zara. So she's just so cunning, and she's very she reads people really well, and she comes up with a lot of plans, and she's really smart.
I like that that's her strength because like it's kind of imbalanced if she wasn't like the smart planner, you know?
Mm-hmm. What? Yeah, definitely. It 100% balances her out. What do we think of, I guess, who is your favorite like Fae, male Fae?
Oh, Rowan.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
100%. Let me see. What do I have? The spider. I have to say though, I was kind of like bored by Nezreen and Sartek's. Like,
yes, I really liked them in Tower of Dawn, and I liked like the spark that they had, and they were kind of like them, but then it just like did not compare to the rest of the characters. They definitely paled in comparison.
I think maybe because we weren't following them for so long.
Yeah.
Like, although Lorcan shows up in Crown of Midnight. No, Crown of Midnight, yeah. In Riftfold, remember? Mm-hmm. Remember, like the when Selena is out at night and she gets pushed up against a brick wall with like a knife to her, and then she like that's Lorcan.
Okay. How did we segue from Sartuk to
Sorry,
Lorcan?
no, I don't know. I was saying how like no, I was just saying how like because we weren't following those characters for so long that we're not like as invested in them. Their story was fizzling out. But then I was saying like, no, not necessarily, because Lorcan, we kind of get only introduced to him really with Ellied in Empire of Storms or Queen of Shadows. So
yeah.
But
we also didn't get their perspective in this one too. So I think that's another reason why.
Yeah, that's true.
Pale in comparison.
Yeah, yeah. The politics were really good.
Yeah. So we're about at our hour mark. We haven't talked about really the next book that we want to do for the new year.
Oh no, we haven't.
Or what our live shows are going to be. So Haley, since you're the one here, do you have any suggestions? We've been talking about doing more series because we like the series.
Yes.
But that's going to be taking over for like Ruby Circle, like that one. This is our secondary one.
I like doing 2 books.
Okay.
Or we can go back to 1. It's up to you.
No, I'm good with 2 too.
Yeah.
I like at least one of them being a series.
Yeah. We could do like what about, have you read The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy yet?
No.
Okay, I haven't either. I'm like only 40 pages in. So we could do that one.
And then figure out what our series is going to be for the next one.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I doubt I'll get to it by the end of the month anyway, so.
I'm sorry?
I doubt that I'll get to it before like next month anyways.
Yeah, so we're talking about January, right? Because we're skipping December.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got basically a month and a half to decide. But I'd be good with doing The Lady Goes to Petticoats and Piracy.
Okay.
Since we both haven't read it. Like I was hoping I'd be done by now, but so many other books.
And we had like a giant one.
1,000 pages is a lot.
It is.
Yeah. And then I need to, I'm using the last half of December to read. Oh, hi.
Hello.
Do you have any suggestions? I think I lost my, you haven't read anything since the Ruby Circle. I think this book is putting me in a book hangover, to be honest.
I'm real scared about both of your comments on Ruby Circle, because I think both of you have said like it was not your favorite book and like you have issues with the Ruby Circle, and I'm like, oh God, what's gonna happen?
Although I don't remember my issues. I read that like 2 months ago.
So I think for the contender, I don't know if we want to nail that down right now, but Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy for January?
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So stay tuned for Ruby Circle, because that's what we're going to be talking about next.
Yeah, I think we hit every point. And I know you're so excited.
I love this series.
I know, it's really good. Really, really good.
So is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we sign out? Oh, one last thing. Kale's dad was such an asshole for keeping all of his mom's letters from him.
Oh my God. I hated that. But I love his reply. He was like, I don't negotiate with bastards, especially you.
Yep. Yeah. I love that part.
Yeah. And then, sorry, I'm like looking through my notes and I'm just like, it says, Manon, Queen of the Witches, And when she puts the crown on her head, I just saw Harry Potter, like, the one chooses the wizard. So like the crown chooses the witch or the queen.
I'm sorry. I laughed so hard I woke up Watson and he was startled.
Oh, well, welcome. Yeah, I don't have too much else. I think we got most of it. Like, I like how she brought things back from like the first book, like you said, with like the the infertility and then Knox. I was
like the Endover parts.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
She's so strong.
Kyle, we cannot do a graphic novel for the book club. That does not count.
I'm sorry?
Kyle's been bothering me to read the Last Man.
Oh, the graphic novel?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. I've read it.
I know. I have it here. I'm gonna read it.
I think you'd like it.
Okay, so that is going to be, I think, the last of our updates. And stay tuned for Ruby Circle.